been waiting for this day and it finally came. I was so excited. I'm always excited to help business owners with the fact that they need to grow their business, grow their brand. But today is going to be a great day. So I hope that you guys are, you have your, you know me. If some of you may not know me, but I'll introduce myself. I always say, grab your favorite beverage, grab your favorite seat, grab your pen and paper because you are going to walk away with so many nuggets today. And we're going to have interaction today. We're going to have break time, questions, all of that. You can put your questions in the chat. So let me bring up my PowerPoint here. Let me see. I have a lot of screens open because I want to show you so much today. But let me bring up the show. Okay, so there we go. So today is about you, and I don't want you to be overwhelmed. Today is about being relaxed, taking notes, walking away with what you need to build your business. So let's talk about the success trifecta today: brand, market, and lead. And so this success trifecta has three parts to it. And I am going to have time for you to have questions. So be sure and put those questions in the chat. Look for the workbook. It's in the chat. We will put it back. But I came up with the success trifecta over working with entrepreneurs for a year. Okay. And I kept saying, what do they need to grow their business without being overwhelmed? And over a year, working with entrepreneurs and seeing what worked and what didn't work, this is what it is. You really only need these three things to grow a business: brand, market, and lead. And we're going to talk about it today. Clarify your brand, simplify your message. And sometimes I say, when I say lead, I'm talking about monetize also, turning leads into clients. So this is a signature program that I have created for you, and we are going to hop in. So, what are you going to learn today? And we are going to have a break, a little break. We are going to have time for questions, but I hope you stay with me. I hope you turn off all of your distractions because you're going to walk away with something that can actually transform your business over November and December in time for January. Part one, we're going to learn what is a brand because sometimes people don't know what that is. It's not about logos, and how clarifying your brand will grow your business. How to build an authentic brand, how to sound like you, and how to, be you and attract the people who need to work with you. And so, part one of building your business is the brand. It took me a while to get this down. Sometimes people think, well, I need to build my brand, but they don't really know much about how to do that. So we'll talk about that today. In part two, we're going to talk about how to simplify your marketing message. No more being on every social site, okay? Unless you have a whole lot of time. No more being on social media every single day, unless you have a whole lot. You don't need that anymore. I've been teaching this since 2015. In 10 years, it's changed. All you need is a simple 2 to 3 day a week plan. I'm going to show you that today. You're going to walk away with a plan that you can use for the holiday. Don't wait to January. People spend money the holiday. And we're going to talk about how to simplify that, how to use storytelling content to grow your audience. It's no more businessy, jargony content. And then the last part of the training, after we build our brand and we get online and market, because we do need to market, how do we turn leads into clients? Okay, how do we actually start making money? And so we'll talk about that at the end of the third part. So the training is very interactive. Okay, I hope you have your pen. I hope you have your paper. I hope you have your questions. You can take screenshots with your phone. It is very interactive. We have activities today, scripts, and I'm definitely going to show you some screenshots. I'm going to go behind the scenes and show you some things, tools that I use. So here's a question I normally ask myself, and I like for you to ask yourself: have you been feeling scattered? I know when I first started my business as a speaker, a coach, a consultant, author, I was so scattered. I had all of these ideas. Why? Because I was older, I had a lot of experience, I had a lot of knowledge. So I had all of these ideas, but they were scattered. And I was overwhelmed. So sometimes I would get stuck and I would do something and then I'd stop. And it took me 8 months. And I'm hoping after today, it won't take you 8 months to get from where I was. And the reason why is I was scattered, I was overwhelmed, I was stuck, and I was trying to do everything on my own. I thought because I had the knowledge and because I had the expertise, I could do it. But we always need a guide. A guide, somebody who's done it. So many entrepreneurs feel this way. And so I was like, I need a coach. Okay. I'm a coach, but I have coaches. And it's not because they don't have the knowledge or the expertise. And I'm willing to bet all of you on here have the knowledge and the expertise in your field. You just don't have a system. I didn't have a system. And when I was working with a client, they said, you know what? You're like the queen of systems. I was working with a client and we were in a 6 week training. She's like, you're like the queen. I said, that's a great name. I think I'm going to take that. So that's how that came about, the queen of systems. Today, I'm going to give you one simple system with three parts that I guarantee, because I've been through this myself and it's happening for me. I guarantee if you work this system for 30 days, you are going to see your business either start, take off, revamp, and start getting clients. I know it for a fact, but you have to work it for 30 days. So some of you know me because I see some of you on here, you're my clients. Some of you may not know me, but I am Marsha Lynn Hudson. I had to brand my full name when I first started because it was another Marsha Hudson doing what I was doing. So I had to brand my whole name. And what do I do every single day? And I love doing it. I love helping coaches, people who are like me, speakers, people who want to be speakers, and service based entrepreneurs, those of us who have businesses and we're selling products and services. I love helping you clarify your brand, simplify your message, and turn leads into clients. Everything I do is surrounding my three-part system, and I'm going to teach you how to have one today, okay? Don't be everywhere. So I take people from being scattered, like I was, overwhelmed and stuck, to having more freedom because when we're hustling and we're running and we're doing everything, we don't have the freedom to live the life we want. So you have more impact and you have more income and you get to build a business and a life you love. I don't want a business that's going well and my life not. I don't want a life that's going well, my business. I want my business and my life to be going well. And that is what I teach. So I am a retired educator. I was a professor here in Houston, professor of English here at University of Houston in Warden County Junior College. For 27 years, I retired. I recently retired and I've been writing books. I'm certified in AI with Vanderbilt University. I've been a speaker for the SBDC. I can't believe it, since 2015, for 10 years, and so much has changed. I've helped hundreds of entrepreneurs with a system to grow their business. But today is not about me. My business is about helping you grow your business, okay? And you can feel free to take a screenshot and I'll show you. If you stay to the end, I have something really special to give you if you stay to the end. So you can pull out that phone because I know we have it right by us, right? And you can scan to get free resources on how to be connected with me. And that's my latest book, Women Who Rock the Stage. So you can take a screenshot or you can scan. And of course, I'll show you this a little later. So we are going to get started. I am Marsha, and feel free to drop what you need to drop in the chat. So the first thing I told myself, I said, Marsha, when after the 8 months that I spent wasting time, or maybe it was a wasted time, but I didn't have to spend 8 months trying to figure everything out. I didn't, but that's just where I was. But after that happened, I realized it was about my mindset. And so I'm hoping today, whatever you've been thinking or wherever you've been this year, these 11 months of this year, whatever has been maybe holding you back, or if you've been having self doubt or fearful, I hope today I change your mindset. That was one of the biggest things that changed my business. And when we change our mindset, when we change our mindset about how we do things or how we used to do things, our attitude changes, our actions change, our behaviors change. And when we change our attitude, our actions, and our behavior, success comes. And so now when I change my mindset, it wasn't that this is impossible. I can't do this. I have to wait. I have to wait till everything's perfect. I have to get everything in order because life is always going to win. Always. So if you're waiting for this to calm down, it's never going to calm down. If you're waiting for this and you wait, you look up and it'll be 6 months into 2026. And so I had to get to a place where progress was more important than perfection. I had to get to a place where I just needed to start. Success loves speed. Success loves speed. I can't wait 3 months and 4 months until everything dies down because it won't. Okay. And so no longer are things become impossible. It changes. Now I'm possible and you're possible to do the things that you want for your own business and for your own life. So if you are anything like me and your mindset kept you in a certain place these 11 months of 2024, don't let it keep you there in these last few months. You do not want to wait to January. Now is the time to build a brand, make some changes, pivot, and stop doing things the old way and get ready for the success that you need. So let's move into part one, and I will be checking the chat pretty soon. So part one is clarify your brand. So excited because when I came up with this strategy, somebody said on LinkedIn, and I really like LinkedIn. If you're a coach, a speaker, a business owner, you need to be on LinkedIn, but that's another training. But somebody said on LinkedIn, pick what you do and say it over and over again. Pick what you do. Pick your expertise. Pick what you do for your ideal client and say it in 1,000 ways, the same way, over and over again. And so I've been teaching the success trifecta over and over again. Sometimes I'll go to a training, AI training, and they give it once a month. I go to the same training every single month. Sometimes we need more than once to hear something. We do need more than once. We need several touch points to hear something and get it. So let's talk about how to clarify a brand because when it's confusing to people, they won't buy. Okay, so I hope you have your pen and paper. Clarify your brand. You're thinking, okay, I'm ready to make sure my brand is clarified. At one point in time, my brand wasn't clear. It was confusing. People didn't know what I did, what to hire me for. Oh, does she do that? It was very confusing. And I thought it was clear until I realized it's too confusing. It's too much for people. So the first part of any successful business, and I realize this, is the brand. You know what I thought? I thought it was let me get on Facebook. I thought it was let me get on Instagram. I thought it was okay, let me do social media. That is not the first part of a successful business. I learned is building a brand way before we get online. I never tell my clients get online before we build a brand, and we're getting ready to go over that in a few minutes. I never say we never talk about anything online. And if you're already online and you're like, man, my brand is not clear, I'm going to tell you today, take a few days, the weekend, and revamp it. Because even if you're posting and it's not clear, nothing will happen. You will not get clients. So the first part of any successful business is the brand. And that's the part where we're like at Starbucks or in our office and we're writing things down. Okay. So you might say, okay, Marsha, what is a brand? And let me make sure I'm doing it correctly. I will tell you this, it is not your logo. You spending a month on a logo? No, that's not your brand. That's the old way. A logo is nice, but people don't buy business with you for your logo. Okay. And why is it important to build your brand? So, number one, Jeff Bezos says your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. You can take a screenshot. Your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. It's your reputation. It's not your logos. It's not your colors. It's not spending 7 months on a website, even though a website is important. It's your reputation. It's what people say about you when you're not in the room. It's how they feel, how you make them feel. It's the perception. Okay, it's everything that deals with feelings and thoughts and reputation. So when we're not speaking in a clear manner and we're using business jargon and terminology from our own industry, people are lost. They don't know that. You want to use eighth grade language online. You want everybody to understand your brand, your business, how you want them to feel, what you do with your services and products in natural, down to earth language, not your business jargon. I was a professor at the college for 27 years, and I spoke and I traveled and I wrote books and I had to do professional development. I can't come online talking like an English professor. People don't know that stuff. I got to come on talking, do you want to grow your business? I got to come on saying, let's talk about how to get a strategy for you so you can make money. I have to say, let's try to figure out who's your client and what problem they are having so that you can solve it. I need to talk in everyday language. And that's what you need to do. So when we build a brand, we build trust and credibility. That's why it's so important to show up wherever you're going to show up. Online, whether it's in an email, whether it's on a video, whether it's at a networking, it's so important to show up because people come to trust us when they see us and hear us, and you create credibility. But when we're inconsistent on and off, well, this happened and I haven't been on for 2 weeks, and this happened, I haven't been on for 3 weeks. People don't trust us, and people buy from people they know, like, and trust. And so if they don't know us because they never see us, and if they don't like our content, then they don't trust us, they're never going to buy. So we could be on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram every single day and not make money. Don't be fooled. People, just because you see people with 10,000 followers, 20,000 followers online every day, some of them are very broke. Likes and followers will not bring money to your bank account. So people have to trust you before they buy from you. And you might be thinking, I'm doing everything and not getting clients. If that's you, then it's because it's a system that's missing, and it's not about posting. The last thing a brand does is it drives growth. A strong brand brings more visibility, more clients, and more opportunity. And it's not about likes, and it's not about followers. You can have 100 good followers and make more money than somebody with 10,000 followers. Just because that's the analytics or that's just numbers. So I never get hooked up in that. I don't have 10,000 followers, but I have clients every single month because it's not about that. It's about the right people trusting you so they can buy from you. So I hope you have your pen and paper. So here are 4 questions that you want to ask yourself. This is how you know if your brand is clear. And then you can drop in the chat for me, yes, Marsha, my brand is clear, or no, my brand is not clear. This is how you know. Okay, here are 4 key questions. Who do you want to be known as? Do people know? When people think of Marsha Lynn Hudson, they're like, she teaches branding and marketing. She teaches branding and marketing. She can help you build your brand. She got this success trifecta. She is the queen assistant. Do people know? Who do you want to be known as? Now, before I finally realized that a system was what I needed, I was all over the place. I was all over the place because I was like, I like to do this. I could teach this. I know how to do this. That doesn't work. So when you figure out who do you want to be known as, big companies do it all of the time. Okay. We know the company for that. We know Nike for what they do. We know Amazon for what it does. So figure out who do you want to be known as, okay? Now those are big companies. They can do a lot more than we can do, but as small business owners and entrepreneurs, become known for something at least 90 days, okay? And then you can add. Don't try to do everything at once. Make something really stick and for 90 days. And then you might say, I think I can add this now. Don't try to do two, three, four, five things at once. Who do you want to be known as? And so if once you're like, okay, people know me as whoever they know you as. So I hope you have your pen and paper and you're doing a little writing with me. And you can take a screenshot. Well, who is your audience? I remember trying to thinking I can teach this to everybody. I was like, I can teach this to everybody. When you try to serve everyone, you serve no one. Okay? When you try to serve everyone, you serve no. My audience is mainly people over 40, 45. It is. I realized that in the last year or so. Those are the people that I work with who seem to be attracted to me. My audience is usually people who want to do coaching or consulting or they want to do speaking because they got a lot of expertise and a lot of knowledge and they've been doing this and they can coach people. They can be consultants or they can do some speaking or training. And my audience happens to be that group who are entrepreneurs. They have products, they have services that they want to sell. I have products and services, and it's mainly women. Now, I have some great men clients, but that is who my main target audience is for. It's not even for 20-year-olds. I have some younger people, but my audience tends to be older entrepreneurs, more mature. They know what they want. They're served. They are gung ho. They're just they're passionate and they want to start a business or grow a business. And many of them want to leave their 9 to 5 in a year or so. So we give them a 12-month plan. How to leave your 9 to 5. You got to know who you're trying to serve. Who is your audience? It cannot be everyone. So I realized my audience is actually me. Is your audience you? My audience is actually me. And so who do you want to serve? Now, if you may have see some of yourself in your audience. You may have experienced some of the things that your audience may be experiencing. Okay? You don't want to try to serve everyone because you will serve no one. I have people who are serving one particular group of people, moms who just had kids, moms who just had kids and they're like 3 or below. That is a great audience. It's not every mom in the world. It's not every mom, but that is a great audience. So you got to know what result or promise will they get from your product or your program. You may have a service, you may have a brick and mortar, you may be selling product. What promise do they get? Everything we buy is because we want something. When I bought these books behind me, I want to learn something from these books. When I go to the store, I have a problem, so I need to go buy something to fix it. Whenever order on Amazon, I have something in my home or something that I need, and I order. Everybody buys from us because they want a result or a promise. They're not really interested in what my actual product name, the Success Trifecta. That's the byproduct. They're interested in Marsha. How can you help me get rid of this problem? How can you help me start my business? How can you help me start getting clients? How can you help me stop being overwhelmed? How can you help me know what to say on social media? I know what my clients want. So you got to know what result or promise you can give your clients from your product or program. If you have a product, I have a book. I have books that I've written. When they read the books, I know what result they're going to get. When they get the program from you, I know what results they're going to get. When people get through working with you and when people get through working with me, you have to ask yourself, how are they better? How are they better? Do they know how to do this? Do they know how to do that? Everything starts with if you write down, okay, when people get through working with me or they get through buying my product or my program, what what did they get? What helped them to be happier or better? or what made their lives easier. That's what you have to do when you clarifying your brand. So I can't just say, "Oh, I teach the success trifecta." I teach the success trifecta. I can, or I'm a college professor. Sadly, nobody cares I'm a college professor. Or I've done this. I have to continue to say, I'm going to help you stop being scattered. I'm going to help you stop being all over the place. I'm going to help you stop being confused. I'm going to give you a system within a matter of weeks is going to change what's been going on in your life. And that's what you need to be able to tell your people. And so sometimes we call it the I help statement. Okay. And you can put your statement in the chat in a minute. So we're going to answer these questions together. So you can put in the chat, yes, I know the answer to my four questions. Or you can put in the chat, no, I do not know the answer to my four questions. let me let me look in the chat here. Um so I see somebody say the brand is very clear. That is great. Um I now believe I've been trying to do too many targets, Sheila. I've been there, done that. Believe me. And when I first started, my husband was like, "Well, Marsha, you're new, you're trying to make money, you're trying to get clients, just teach it to everybody." And so I was like, "Okay, that did not work." You need to become known for something to a certain group of people, and you don't need to have a whole lot of stuff. And so that will make you stand out in your brand in this sea of 4 billion people online. That's going to make you stand out. Believe me, and you're going to be so happy. So we call this, when we can put these four questions together, we call this our I help statement. Okay. And so, how do we come up with our I help statement? You have to know the pain points, the challenges, and the struggles of your audience. Okay. And then you have to know, how do you guide them to a solution or help them get what they want? This is how you come up with your I help statement. And I'm going to show you some examples in a minute. So you have to ask yourself, and of course, whatever AI tool you use, you can go to AI and you can put in all of the information about your client. You can put in all of the information about your business. You can put in all of the information that you've been sharing, and then you can ask it. You can ask the AI, whether it's Chat GPT or Claude or Perplexity. You can ask the AI, well, what are the pain points of my clients? What are the challenges of my clients? What are the struggles of my audience? And then you can know what their pain points and challenges are versus us trying to guess. That's the good news about AI, right? And as an AI certified consultant, I learned how to feed the AI correctly so that I can get the right inputs for my business so that I can learn my clients. We have to learn our clients. We have to get in their heads. We have to start saying the words they're saying in their heads. Use the words they're saying in their heads. How can I grow my business? Everybody's saying it in their heads. How can I get more clients? Everybody's saying it in their head. How can I understand what to do? I'm stuck. I'm not techie. People are saying it in here. I know my client's pain point. What am I supposed to say on social media? I don't know what to say. My challenge is, how do I set this system up, because I can't figure out kit and I can't figure out that. I know the struggles they're having, and then they're working, and then they have their lives, and then they, this day comes and they didn't get to post, and then they didn't get to do this. I know these things, and that is what they're saying in their heads. That's what's keeping them up at night. If only they can figure out, how can I grow my business? How can I get clients every month? How can I make more money without hustling and being all over the place and understanding what to do? Wow, that's what they want. So you have to know what they want. And AI will help tell you what they want and what their pain points are. So here's the formula for your I help statement. Okay. And I'm going to show you an example. And so you can say I help, or you can say helping, or you can say guiding. You can use any verb you like. Okay. Who is it that you help? Okay. And what do you help them do? How do you help them do it? So they can, at the end, that's their transformation. That's the result. My thing is, so they can create a business and a life that they love, a profitable business. So the so they can at the end is the transformation. And then you say it everywhere. You say it at networking functions. You say it on your website. You say it on social media. And then you make it where it's conversational. And then you can change it around. They go from being this to this. So some people call it an I help statement. You can Google it or chat GPT. It is what I say. Some people call it a position statement. Some people call it a transformation statement. But I don't care what industry you're in, you need a statement. People need to know what you do, who you do it for, and how can you help them go from where they are now to where they need to be. Your client is the hero. You're the guide. Okay? Your client is the hero. You're the guide. So here's one of my examples. Sometimes when I'm out and about, people's like, what do you do? That's the favorite question, right? Sometimes I might say, you know how entrepreneurs are stuck and scattered and they don't know where to begin. Well, I help, and then I may go into it. And so I may be somewhere else, and people say, well, what do you do? I'm never going to say I'm a brand and marketing strategist. I'm never going to say that, says nothing to them. I'm never going to say my title first. Never going to say my title. I'm going to say what they want. What do you do? So I help coaches, speakers, and service based entrepreneurs clarify their brand, simplify their message, and turn leads into clients. That's really what they want. It's three parts with my simple three-part system. So they can go from being scattered, overwhelmed, and stuck to having more freedom, impact, and income while building a business and a life they love. That is so much better than saying, oh, I teach branding and marketing. Or I'm a branding and marketing expert. And I've been teaching for 27 years at the college. I just lost them. I just lost them in a conversation. But if I'm saying if they're one of these people, coaches, speakers, or service-based entrepreneurs, and they need to clarify their brand or simplify their message and turn leads into clients, they're going to listen. Now, sometimes we have one part of this system, but we're still not getting clients because you need all three parts to the system. And sometimes they're scattered and they overwhelmed. Oh my goodness, there's so much to do. And they're stuck. I've been there. So they don't have any freedom. They're running around every day trying to do this, hustling, trying to get clients, trying to run their life. It's just too much. So they have no freedom now. And they have no impact. So when they do get online, people just scrolling across their post. And so the income is not coming in monthly. Our bills come in monthly, right? And so what they thought for the business and the life they wanted is just not happening. So what if they worked with you and you told them in a statement this, and they're like, that's me. That is me. I get it. This person gets me. That is me. And so now they're like, tell me more. How can you help me? So this might be on your website. This might be if you go to a networking function. This might be in your LinkedIn bio. This might be on your Facebook bio. You need to put what you do for people. You can shorten it. AI, you can put it out and shorten it. And you might have a shorter version different times. I use my statement in different ways at different times, but it's always surrounding around who I help, the three things that I help them do, and how I help them go from one point to the next because I'm the guide. And so you have to come up with your position statement. Very, very important. It has to be very clear. Don't use big jargon words. Don't use terminology from your industry. Use everyday words that people are using in their head. Marsha, I need to know how to clarify my brand. I need to know how to simplify my message because I can't be on every single site and I don't know what to say. And then if you are online and you post it, I need to know how to get clients. So that's what you want to do. So people buy from us because they have a problem or a desire. Everything starts with a problem or a desire. Everything we buy starts with a problem, or even you're having a problem with something, trying to get something done, or you have a desire, something you want for your life. That's in any industry, A to Z. I don't care what kind of business you're in, what kind of business you have, whether it's brick and mortar, digital, or coach, every single person, every company we buy from, every contractor that I have coming to my house, I hire them because I have a problem or I have a desire. And so everything starts with the problem and the desire. So you have to ask yourself, what problem is my ideal client having? And what do they want? Where do they want to be before 2026 comes? Where do they want to be in Q1 of 2026? What do they want for their lives 6 months in? Time goes really fast. That's why we don't want to wait to January. Well, let me wait and then I'll get started. Now is the time. Success loves speed. Success loves speed. Now you don't need to do 10 things, but you need to do at least one or two. Success loves speed. It's very hard to be successful trying to spend 5 months trying to figure something out that could take a week. Okay? So people want help. People want to grow. They want to scale. You guys came for that today. You want to build a profitable business. Some of you are already doing well. You want to go to the next level. Some of you are just starting. You want to know what to do to be profitable. Some of you are kind of stuck. You want to know, well, how do I get unstuck? So we're at every different place in our journey. At one point in time, I was new. I started from zero. I was trying to figure out how to grow my business. And then at a second point, I was stuck. I was trying to figure out, okay, my business is doing pretty well, but I'm stuck. Then another part's like, okay, I'm getting momentum. Well, how do I get even double that? But I don't want to be running around hustling and all of that. And then I'm like, okay, well, I really don't know how to do such and such. Where do I go to learn it instead of spending 5 months with a bunch of stuff and I don't know what to do? So you need to let people know how you help them and how their lives will be better after experiencing your products and services. Now, you don't say, well, I can help you if you buy my program. No. You let people know how you help them by using the words that they're using in their heads. You might say something like, our product will help you at your home to be very comfortable this fall. Our If you have a product, our product will help you with this particular thing that's going to help your kids enjoy the holiday season, or our product and programs will help you make sure that you have more time to do such and such. So you talk about your product or your service or your program in the way that they need for the help they want. So I'm not going to say, oh, my product, if you buy my product, my Success Trifecta product, then we can do this. No, I'm going to say, well, we're going to help you clarify your brand. And over 30 days, we're going to make sure you know how to use social media and AI correctly. And we're going to make sure that when you are posting, you're saying the right words to connect with your people. And then we're going to make sure that now you're not just posting, you're not just showing up online, but we're going to make sure you know how to get clients every month consistently. And so with the program or the product, we're going to make sure whatever it is that you promise them or whatever the transformation it can be. So when we're talking about helping people, we need to use the words that they are using, and we need to stress the problems, the pain points, and the things that they're having. So, in other words, we need to change our conversation. And I had to do that. I thought talking about my product, talking about what I can, what they would do when they hire me. I thought talking about how many years of experience I had. I thought talking about what all of my accolades, that doesn't get people. That's important, but they'll know you know what you're talking about if you show up with the right content and you're visible. And then they'll see it. You put it in your about section on your LinkedIn, all of your accolades. But talking about all of the things about me, didn't get me clients every month, didn't build my business. I love working with entrepreneurs one on one. I love it. But talking about all of my accolades, but talking about how I can help them get from where they are now to where they want to be, that's how you get them. I needed a landscape person. I had four people to come by. The landscaper that I hired was higher than all of the other people. The landscaper I hired was higher. He cost more. I didn't want to pay more. He cost more than the other three. Why did I hire the landscaper that cost more? He knew how to talk about, we're going to make your garden look good. You need this in it. We need to do this. You need to do this. You need to get this kind of stuff so you can make sure it's blooming. We need to make sure we get this kind of mulch because the reason why is this going to do this. He educated me versus coming by saying, well, it's 350 for us to do this and do that. We've been in business as landscapers for 15 years. We work for good big companies. None of that moved me, and they were less than the one I hired. But the one I hired, and I told my husband, well, we got to pay a little bit more for him. My husband was like, why? I said, but he really told me the stuff that I wanted. He really told me the problems that I had been having. He really told me how we could get rid of those problems. He really told me how we were going to do it. He really told me what kind of flowers we were going to get. He really told me all this versus the other people's like, oh, yeah, we work for commercial companies. We've been doing it a long time. This is how much it's going to be. So we have to change our conversation. So it's not always about the price. I didn't want to hire the person who was higher. But he really made me feel like this guy's going to help me get my garden looking good. This guy's going to help me know how to take care of it. This guy's going to give me the desire that I want. I want a pretty garden. When I sit out, I want to look at it, have my coffee and think this is beautiful. So I paid a little bit more. It was all about the desire. He talked all about the desire that I had. So sometimes we have to change our conversation. And I had to learn that. So your turn. I'm going to check the chat. Your turn. So write out your statement. You might, kind of go back and forth with it. I always say take 2 days. No more than 2 days. Success, love, speed. You shouldn't be doing something next Wednesday. Take 2 days. I have a great office here. My husband has built a lot of stuff in here for me. I got TVs, I got computers. He's built it. It's nice in here. But I'll go to Starbucks sometime just to change my environment. I'll go to Barnes and Noble. I love books. I love writing. I love planning and thinking. I'll go to La Madeline, a coffee house, and spend an hour or two writing with my coffee. I love it. Thinking, planning, spend no more than 2 days. Sometimes it's really hard at home if you got the kids, you got everybody to do what you need to do. And what happens is you look up and 5 days have passed by. Because life will always win. You have to plan it. You have to plan it. And I would go and write out my statement if I were you, or revamp my statement. I've revamped before. Sometimes we have something and we need to pivot. We can't keep doing things the old way, the way we used to do them. So you can practice your I help statement. Some people call it a position statement. Some people call it a transformation statement. But you need one. And it needs to be so clear that you can speak it anywhere. When people say, well, what do you do? Okay. Do not start with your title. Okay. What do you do? Sometimes when people say, I say, you know how, and people ask me all of the time, because I'm usually out writing and studying and I have my books with me. And people are like, what do you do? I was out having lunch and somebody's like, I overheard you talking to someone on the phone. Are you a social media person? And I say, you know what I do? I help. I say I might say something like, you know how people just some people they want to start a business or they have a business and entrepreneurs they're so passionate about their business but they don't know where to start and they stuck and they scattered and they all well, what I do is I help them go from being scattered and stuck to clarifying their brand, learning how to market online without being on every social site, and actually turn likes and followers into clients. That's what I do every day. And this guy is like, oh my goodness, that's me. I've been wanting to start a business. I didn't know where to start. You see how what I said had him wanting to know more versus, oh, I teach a branding and marketing. I'm a branding and marketing person, and I used to be a professor at the college for 27 years. And so no. No. Okay. So it's all about what the people want. Let me check the chat. So, what is a brand message? And I want to tell you about Donald Miller. You may know him, may not. He doesn't pay me, but I have his book, Story Brand. It's wonderful. If you do not follow Donald Miller, you should. He really should pay me because I'm always recommend you should, because Donald Miller is the brand king. He teaches about making your brand clear. It's not about your jargon. It's not about industry terms. It's not about how long you've been something. He is great. And you can Google him or put him in Chat GPT, Donald Miller, the story brand, build a clear brand. He pops up everywhere. I took a training from Donald Miller, and I'm still paying for trainings for Donald Miller. I met him a few years ago, and I'm still following and paying and buying his book because he helped me go from this jargony person to a clear message. And this is what he says. And I hope you follow him on YouTube or on Google or Amazon. Put in build a brand. I hope you follow him because he says when you confuse, you lose. And that is so true. A confused buyer never buys. And one guy was like, stop throwing up on people. I do and I do and we do and we just throwing up on people. Be clear. Be concise. Don't be clever. Be clear, be concise. That's what's going to get you the business you need for November, December, and 2026. You're going to be so successful. And I know that you're going to be successful because this is a time for business owners. This is a time for entrepreneurs. This is a time for consultants and coaches. This is your time. This is a $1 billion business. This is a time people are learning online. People are buying products online. People are buying your books. This is a time to get that book out of your head. If you've been wanting to write a book for 10 years, 5 years, you can get that done out of your head in 6 weeks. You can email me and I can help you with that. But this is a time. It's no more waiting and waiting and waiting. This is the time for entrepreneurs. You're a solopreneur. You want to start a business. You're a coach or consultant or you want to speak. It's a $4 billion business and you only need a few people each month. 200, Donald Miller said 250 good clients or more than 10,000 who are just liking and following. You don't even need a big audience. You just need to have a clear brand. They need to know what do you do and how can you help me? So I hope you follow him. I like to give him as a resource because it's so clear. And Donald Miller is great. And he's a big time businessman, but he's so down to earth and clear with teaching brand. And we cannot build a business without a clear brand. And when you confuse that was me, you lose. I wasn't getting consistent clients. I was like, what's going on? I know my field. I know my expertise. I know the knowledge that I have. What's going on? People were too confused. Too confused because I was using business jargon and this and using the wrong type of conversation. So a confused buyer never buys. And we're going to talk about more about that. Let me check the chat. All right. I know, let me check the chat for a minute. Yes, I know the answer to my 4 questions. That's great, Lorna. I feel like I know my answers. This is great. 3 out of 4. I like it. I think my brand is clear, but I need more consistency in communicating to others. I love that. Uh, I see our products have horses and dogs quickly. and provide targeted cold therapy. And they were okay. So I'm seeing some good stuff here in the chat. All right, good deal. I'm seeing some stuff here in the chat. Great deal. So we got to make sure we're clear. Okay. And then we talk about these three or four phrases. You can put them in the chat that you will say over and over again that people remember you and they relate to you. Now, Donald Miller calls them the sound bites. I follow a few brand experts. I pay for coaching from a few, okay? But I really like a few things that Donald Miller talks about. I have a few other people on LinkedIn. I like what Laura Costa talks about. I have a few people, Matt Gray, and they talk about how to build your business, how to grow a business, and I love learning. I never stop learning. And because things change. I can't market today in 2026 the way we did 5 years ago. We just can't do the same thing. You can't post to Facebook the same way we did a few years ago. You can't put the same type of content on LinkedIn. You can't market the old way in the new era. It just doesn't work. So if we don't pivot and learn, then we're doing what we thought worked and it doesn't work. So you want to get three to four phrases that you will say over and over again so that people remember you and relate to you. He calls them sound bites. Okay. So I might say something like, I'm the queen of systems, because systems equal freedom and sales. They actually do. I say it all of the time. When you have a system, I'm not running around every day. I'm not hustling every day. I'm not chasing clients every day, because system gives me freedom and it brings sales. So I have a balanced life now. Sometimes I'm working on my business. Sometimes I'm doing things with my family. Sometimes I'm doing things with my husband. Sometimes I'm doing maybe out shopping. I have a balanced life now instead of running around all over the place trying to chase clients. A system gives you freedom. And I'm going to talk about a good one too in a little while. And it brings sales. And I say it all of the time. A system brings freedom. And then I talk about getting booked and paid. You can get booked and paid with a system. I talk about these are my sound bites. Okay. How to go from, you can go from being scattered to profitable in just 6 weeks. These are I say them all of the time. You don't have to be on social media every day and you don't have to be on every site. I say it all of the time. You don't need 10,000 followers to make money online. You need about 250 good, loyal people in your email and you make money every single month. I say it all of the time. You only need three things to grow your business. You need to clarify your brand. You do need to market. Everybody, even Amazon market, they market on TV. TV is a little bit more expensive, but we got social media we can market through. We have podcasts we can market through. We have newsletters we can market through. You do need to market, and you need to turn leads, people who are scrolling, into clients. Three things. That's it. I say it all of the time. It's the success trifecta, and it works. So you need to think about a few sound bites. You might even put in AI. You put in AI what your business is about, put your ideas, put your belief, and say, give me, Donald Miller talks about sound bites. Give me five that I can have for 2026. And you say it all of the time, over and over, short, so that people remember you and they can relate to you. They're called soundbite. When your brand message speaks to your ideal client, you can sell anything without being salesy. So now we get to a place where we're not having to convince people to buy from us, or we're not pressuring people to buy from us. We're actually giving them an opportunity to go from where you are now to where you want to be. So when your brand message speaks to your ideal client, I don't care what industry you're in, whether you have brick and mortar, whether you have a digital business, whether you're a coach or a consultant, a speaker, whether you have product, I don't care what business you're in, from A to Z. When your brand message speaks to your ideal client, you can sell them anything without being salesy. That's how the landscaper that costs more than everybody else got me to get him. He wasn't even trying to get me to. I don't even think it mattered to him if I booked him or not. He didn't act like it. Some people really act like it. I really want you to be, they act like they really need your business. They act like, oh, and they always trying to sell. Well, when you speak correctly to their problem and they feel like they could trust you with the solution, then they want what you have. Or I tell people it's two things. Either you want to go to the next level or you want to stay stuck for the next year. Either you want to grow your business, or I see some of you put a lot of things that you do in the chat. It needs to be either your client want what you have because you're going to help them, or they just want to keep being stuck. So now you don't have to pressure and be salesy because you're offering them an opportunity to move to where they want to be. So this is the end of part one. Brand recap. Okay. You must have a trusted brand. So I hope you've been writing down before we move to part two. Who do you want to be known as? Okay. Who do you want to be known? And don't start off with your title. You want to be known as whatever it is in your industry. I do want to be known as someone who can help somebody to build their brand and market and grow their business. But that's not what I'm going to say when people say, what do you do? Who do I help or serve? Who do you help or serve? Okay. If you say everyone, you might have a store. Everyone, then you're never going to be specialized. I have a general doctor. But when I have an issue, I go to the specialized doctor. If my GI system is acting up, I'm going to the GI doctor. He specializes in that. He makes more. If I'm having issues with my blood pressure or heart, I'm going to the cardiologist. If I'm having issues with my foot, I'm going to the podiatrist, even though I have a general doctor. You need to know who you help or serve, and it shouldn't be everyone. And what problem do you solve? And what is your I help statement? And it could be helping or guiding or working with, and then it needs to be in a very conversational manner because it's what you do. You know that this is what you're going to help them do, go from this point to that point. So that's a brand recap. So you could, I like to say, and I have this right here, when I attend webinars and I get a workbook, I put the workbook in. I will go and print this workbook out. I attended a webinar on pitch. I printed this out. I let my printer print it out. I got me a nice little cute binder, and I take this thing with me and study it. Print your workbook out. It's a great workbook. I'm going to put it back in the chat. Print your workbook out. It's a great workbook. Work on it. Get ready for November and December. And get ready for January 2026. All right, I'm looking. Let me check the chat again. Let me see if I can put the workbook back in there. Okay. I just put the workbook back in the chat. It is a very good workbook. And you should print it out later on. Work on it over the weekend. It's quite a few pages. But at the end, I'm going to tell you, give you something special that I can do for you. So that's the part one of the success trifecta. We're going to have questions and a little break in a minute. Online, part two, simplify your message. So you might say, okay, Marsha, you told me about the first thing. And the first thing is I need to build my brand. Okay, I need to build my brand. And if you've been posting on LinkedIn or Facebook or all over the place, you need to give it a break this weekend until you make sure your brand is clear. Other than that, you're just doing something. And that doesn't bring clients. Clients need to be clear about how you help them. So the way that you do after you've figured out your four questions, he's like, okay, I know my four questions. Put it in chat. Make sure it sounds right, okay? And you know your four questions, and you can say it easily. What's the transformation? When people get through working with me, they are going to have a system on how to grow their business and get clients. That's just the bottom line. And sometimes they have systems and they don't know how to work them or do them. Well, then they can let me do the system, or they could try to do it themselves for 6 more months. So when people know what you can do for them or with them, if they can't do it themselves and you can do it for them and they decide, bam, then you move to step two, simplifying your message. This is where sometimes a lot of entrepreneurs, I was at that place too. Shiny objects. Let me be on Instagram. Let me be on this. Let me do this. Let me do that. We can't do all of that if we're a solo entrepreneur and work and do your business and run your family. And even though when I first started, I was a solo entrepreneur, but over time I realized I couldn't grow just by doing everything myself. I have a team now that helps me, that works for me, and I'm so happy that I delegate to other people. I was trying to do it all. Oh my goodness. And wasn't being good at doing it. And I was trying to figure out, well, how can I be on here? Let me do a video. Let me do that. None of that works and it doesn't bring freedom. And so I have a team now, so we do more things. But if I was solopreneur, I would simplify this message. So, what do you mean, Marsha? Simplify your marketing message. Number one, you don't need to be everywhere. Clients call me, they get on a call with me because I have a free 20-minute call. And they say, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Instagram, I'm on doing reels, I'm on TikTok. I was like, oh my goodness, how is that working out? You don't need to be everywhere anymore. This is Gary Vee said it's not even social media anymore. It's interest media. If you show up 2 to 3 times a week with interesting content, you can build a business. You just need a simple system. You don't need to be on every site. You don't need to be on there every day. Your marketing is not like, oh my goodness, I need to post, I need to do. Marketing is just being visible with your message. You might say, well, Marsha, I'm just gonna market on LinkedIn and have a new email for November, December, and January. That's enough. So you go all in with your message on LinkedIn and email because you need email to grow your business. So social media, you need to drive people from social media to your email. Email is your biggest asset. We're going to talk about that. You can grow your business. That's enough. Or you might say, I think I'm going to do YouTube and email. That's enough. You just need to show up and be visible with your message. That's marketing. That's it. And the good news is your message can be in your tone. Your message can be the way you talk. Your message can be your experiences. I've shared a lot of experiences with you. How for 8 months I kept trying to do everything on my own instead of getting help. And for 8 months, nothing happened. I shared with you how I was all over the place, scattered, stuck, and nothing happened. I shared with you how I tried to serve everyone and I was actually serving no one. Share your experiences. And now I can share with you how I created a system. I have system. Now I have freedom. I have sales. I have consistent clients every month, and I love it. Simple message. And you can grow your business without burning out. I actually burnt out. I was burnt out. And nothing was happening. Inconsistently, things were happening. But I didn't want inconsistency. I wanted to build a successful business monthly without hustling and running around. So when you focus on what works, not on doing all of the things, do you know that's marketing? I am not on TikTok. I don't do TikTok. Some people do and they make money. I am not all over the place on Instagram. They change too much. I have two main platforms that I focus on is LinkedIn and YouTube and email. LinkedIn and YouTube. Even though I am on all of the sites, I have a team, but I don't focus as much on them as I do LinkedIn and YouTube. I do a YouTube video every week, non negotiable. It's a great place to be. I hope you go follow me on YouTube. Type in Marsha and Hudson. That's a plug for my YouTube. But just show up with your clear message, your system, and your message. So, this is the method I use. Okay. I use the 3-2-1 method. And it takes me about 30 minutes, 3 days a week. I have a planning day every weekend. It's non negotiable. That might take me 2 hours. I plan for my 3 days. If you want to grow your business and get more clients, this is all you need. I came up with this because I was working with so many clients, and then after I finished working with them, they didn't continue. I was like, "What's going on?" Well, I got busy. I had to do this. And so I came up with the 3-2-1 method. I was like, "What is the best thing they can do to at least stay consistent?" And this is the minimum. If you can't give 30 minutes 3 days a week to your business, you have to ask yourself, do you really want to have a business? Do you really want consistent clients? Do you really want to grow? 30 minutes, 3 days a week? Really? I mean, out of 7 days a week. And this works. If you have a plan, I have a planning day every weekend, non negotiable. Non negotiable. And so on my planning day, it might be 2 hours. And I'm going to plan my 3 posts for the week, my two main platforms. What am I going to post on YouTube and LinkedIn? And my one email. It's usually Thursday. So the planning happens on the planning day. So when the 3 days come, you pull up your LinkedIn, you post, you comment, you connect, you do your YouTube video. I usually do 20-minute video. You don't need a lot for that anymore. You just need your phone and a mic. $20 mic from Amazon, your home and a window. Sometimes we wait to get, I got to get this, I got to get that. No, you don't. Some people make YouTube videos from their car and killing it. Jeff Fisher, you need to look him up on YouTube. Jeff Fisher, he makes YouTube videos from his car, has thousands of views, and makes money on YouTube from his car. So sometimes we're like, I gotta have this, I need that. No, you don't need a system. He probably says, what video do I need to make this week? He probably writes it down, goes to the car, and makes the video. Just need a system. For me, I usually make a video or two, a batch on a weekend. Get my camera, put it up, get on the sofa, or get right here, turn it on, pop, make my video. 20 minutes, that's it. Just need a system. And so now with your two platforms, whichever two you want to be on, not just because it's trendy, you need to lead people to email. And then your one email a week, which may be one of your 3 days. So you might say, I'm going to, and I don't even look at it as posting. I look at it as building my brand. I'm going to build my brand Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday this week. I'm going to build my brand so I can build my business as November, December, and 2026 come. I'm going to build my brand. I'm going to build my business. And these are the 3 days I'm going to do it. I don't even look at it as, oh my God, I got to post. And some people hate social media. I hate social media. I don't like social media. They're not using it correctly. Social media is not for clients. It's the top of the funnel. You got to drive people from the top of the funnel to the email and get on a call with you and become a client. But social media is a great tool for visibility. It's a great tool. If 3 people found me this week, that's 3 people that found me and may like my stuff. One of them may eventually become a client. If 2 people find me next week, if 6 people find me the following week, if nobody finds me the week after that, I'm still going to keep going because I'm building my brand week after week. And I know that if I keep on doing it every week, I'm going to grow my business. And so once a week in the email, people it's not that people don't like emails. They just don't like bad ones. Once a week, my email, same content. I'm speaking to their problems. I'm giving them tips. I'm giving them strategies. Who wouldn't open that email every week? Trying to build your brand and want to grow your business for 2026, who wouldn't open that email? And then when they open it, I'm giving them tips on what to do. And then next week, I send them a business on 3 types of content to post to grow your audience. Who wouldn't open that email? And then the next week, I sent them an email on, are you making sure that you're ready for 2026? And I sent them a free ebook in the email. Who wouldn't open my email? They can't wait to open my emails every week. versus an email that's boring and jargony and this every week. So people don't open them. Or I send an email and say, don't, as a reminder, I'm giving a free webinar next Thursday on how you can get ready for Black Friday sale. Who wouldn't open an email? And then the next week, I say 5 problems that you might be struggling with if you're trying to grow your brand. Who wouldn't open those emails every week? And it's everyday conversation in the email. The email may say how I struggled with something, and here's a tip for you to get over it, or how I did this and how to fix it. And here's a free resource, or here's a video I just made on YouTube. You might want to go watch this video on how to create your signature program. So every email once a week gives them value, it gives them tips, it's helping them to get further and further closer to where they want to be. Who wouldn't open that kind of email? Emails are not the same way they used to be. They used to be long and jargony and businessy. That's not what emails are like anymore. They're conversational, they're full of value, giving tips, letting people know when you're having something. Maybe you wrote a book. Here's a link to my Amazon book. They're gonna go buy your book. They like you. They like your content. They like your email. Or here's a link to get to schedule a call with me. They want to get on a call because they've gotten these emails every week. That's wonderful from you. And they think, this person gets me, this person can help me. Who wouldn't open those kind of emails? So, email, if you're thinking, email, they're so different. We do not market the way we used to market a long time ago. A simple marketing plan, 3 days a week, 30 minutes each day. That's it. That's what has grown my business. I'm not overwhelmed. I'm not hustling. I'm not all over the place. And it's a wonderful plan and it works. If you show up 3 days a week speaking to your clients, it's better than showing up five here and there saying things that they're just going to keep scrolling by for. That is the marketing plan. And you could take a picture with your phone. The 3-2-1 method. Okay, it works. And so now you might say, well, Marsha, where do I get the content? Well, you choose from your content pillars. Now this is a 2-hour training, which I barely have an hour or so to go. You can't learn everything in a 2-hour training, but you can walk away with a few things to get you started. And so you might say, well, what are content pillars? This is what you use for everything. The pillars speak to your clients, their pain points, their challenges, their desires. I keep saying that. And you use the pillars to you could talk about your wins when you post to social media or email. You could talk about your losses. You could talk about your journey. You could talk about your experience and then give them some value when you post to Instagram or Facebook or email. So every time you show up online, whether it's your newsletter or YouTube or Instagram or wherever, your email, you use your content pillars. And we're going to look at how do I come up with that. And then you ask AI. And you put everything about your business in AI. You put everything about your clients in AI. You put your values so it could sound like you. You say, now give me my 4 content pillars. So now you don't have to keep thinking, what am I going to say next week? You just use your content pillars. What am I going to say the following week when I show up my 3 days a week? What am I going to say in the email? You just use your content pillars because your pillars speak to your clients' pain points, challenges, and desire. You don't have to keep coming up with stuff. So you might say, okay, well, what are my content pillars? And you can take a screenshot and then put that screenshot in AI. Themes, subjects, what you're passionate about, your experiences. That's what goes on LinkedIn. That's what goes in Facebook. That's what goes in Instagram. That's what goes in the email. That's what goes in your newsletter. That's what goes in your LinkedIn articles. That's what goes on your podcast. You don't want to do all of those, but you need some of them, okay? Your content pillars, the themes from your industry, your subjects that you like to talk about, what you're passionate about, your experiences, those are your content pillars. So stick to 4 or 5 content pillars, okay? All of your marketing revolves around your content pillars. You could talk about your journey, your expertise, your stories, your education. All of your marketing revolves around your company. Marketing is simply messaging. Marketing is not, oh my goodness, let me go on social media. Oh, I got to post. That's not marketing. Marketing is whenever you show up with your messaging, whether it's on a podcast, whether it's on a newsletter, whether it's in an email, maybe you have billboards, maybe you do TV or radio. Marketing is simply your message. And your message is always their pain points, their struggles, their challenges, and their desires. Every single day, every week that I show up, I'm going to talk about my clients' pain points or their struggles or their challenges or their desires and how we can help them get rid of those things and get to where they want in everything I do. Whether it's a YouTube video, whether it's a podcast, whether it's a Substack newsletter, and we have all of those. I have a newsletter, I have YouTube, I have a podcast, I have social media, whether it's all of those. But don't forget, I have a team. Okay? I have a team. Don't try to be everywhere. You don't want to try to be everywhere. You can, here's a screenshot you can take and put it in the chat GPT. Here's a sample post. You can take a picture with your phone. Give me a post for LinkedIn, whether you're on Facebook, based on one of my content pillars. Make it storytelling, speak to my ideal client, tell it who your audience is, tell it your content pillar, tell it your pillars, tell it your story. Make it the post to seventh or eighth grade level so it's clear and easy to understand. Speak in first person. I like for my post to say I remember when, and sound like me. I want it to sound like me. I've trained it to sound like me. Tell it some things about you and add a call to action. Then give me an email with the same message. So now you got a post for LinkedIn, a post for Facebook, because I told you you only need two platforms or one, and an email. Now you got a prompt for all three. All three. Chat GPT is your assistant. Don't just copy and paste. I got a certification from Vanderbilt University last November, and I'm so glad I learned and I'm still learning how to use AI. It's a great tool for ideas, but you have to know how to use it correctly or you don't get the right prompt. So here's another one you can take a screenshot of. Write a short and engaging for whatever platform for your audience. Use a friendly, inspiring tone. Start with a hook, include a relatable message, and end with a call to action. You always want a call to action. It's in your workbook. What do you want them to do next? Maybe you want them to download your lead magnet. Maybe you want them to grab your playbook. Maybe you want them to watch your YouTube video. Maybe you want them to go to your newsletter. You have to have something next for people to do. Other than that, they're just going to be scrolling and looking. And then you might say, give me a sample comment I can leave on someone else's post. I put in the workbook sample comments you can put. Don't just say that's nice or like. Your comments are important. Other people see them. Make it supportive and personal. Now, ChatGPT or your favorite AI tool will give you a post where it's just not a random kind of post. So you pick your platforms. You only need one or two. For the next 90 days, go all in and email. Okay? Pick them. And then your email provider can be kit.com or constant contact. I am going to talk about that. Okay. Demonstration. So we're going to do a demonstration in a minute. I'm going to give you a little break. If you need to get up and get some water, go to the restroom for a minute. It's about 10 to 1. I got about 40 more minutes, but I'm going to give you a little break. I told people, I said, you're not going to feel like it's 2 hours because we're going to be doing a lot. But I'm going to give you a demonstration when we come back from the break of a typical week. Okay. My planning day, your post, a short demonstration here in a minute. So if you need to go and get a water, a restroom break, we'll give you a few minutes and then you can come back. And I'm going to stop this share and I'm going to turn off the record. Okay. So here's ChatGPT. If you know, I have the paid version. You can definitely do a lot with the free version. I just had a paid version. I do like Claude, I do like Perplexity, I do like Gemini, but don't go down the AI hole. You need to learn how to use it correctly to get the most out of it. So my system might be every week I might say LinkedIn strategy or connection strategy for a week of such and such. Okay. And so here I might look at all of this stuff I put in, right? And so I might put all of this stuff in each week, but sometimes things are saved so you don't have to keep putting the same thing in. And so as I prepare in my, it knows me now. It calls me the queen assistant. As I prepare for my planning day once a week, I have my phone with me. This phone is a great tool, by the way. I just got my iPhone 17. Isn't that cool? Yeah. I just got my iPhone 17, so it's my new toy. But it's a great tool. So I might have my phone, I might have my notes, and Chat GPT, and I go to work. And I might say, this is what I want to do for this week. And I don't have to put everything in anymore. It has learned me. Okay. I've trained it to sound like me. And then we had this long conversation. Okay. Look at all of this. We had this long conversation. So it's not just one thing. I don't just put one thing and say, give me this, give me that. We had this long conversation back and forth until I get to the place where I know what I want for my 3 days. Okay. So I might say here at the bottom, according according to one of my content pillars, I might say, give me three, and this is just three ideas for a post. I'm gonna say for the first one for LinkedIn. Okay. Just let me say just the idea or title and no, I don't like all the emoji. Okay. I want to think about what I want to think about what thing I want to share with my audience this week. Okay. So I might start it off with this first thing. Here are three strong post ideas, Marsha, for LinkedIn. Okay. All aligned with your success trifecta system. Everything I do is with my system. I am not going to do new stuff every week. Okay. The success trifecta system, brand, market, and monetize. I used to call it brand, market, and lead. I changed it in November. It's monetized. People want to know, how can I create a product and make money? Okay, so now it has given me why clarity is more profitable than hustle. And I can think about, okay. And then it's giving me the hidden system behind every successful personal brand. And I was like, okay, three signs it's time to simplify your market. This is a great beginning. This is not the end. This is the beginning. Okay, that's I could sit there for 2 hours at Starbucks with Chat GPT until I figure out what do I want to do this week. What do my clients or my audience, what do they need to hear to grow their business? And so now it gives me that. So now I can have a conversation and say, I like these three. What would be the best one for my first post as November uh, closes? And then I might say, because I've trained it, what my clients are struggling with before, okay, 2024 ends. Okay. And so we're having a conversation. Okay. We're having a conversation. Sometimes this conversation goes on for 2 hours. All right. And then it says, well, you might want to start with why clarity is more profitable than hustle. And because it's true, people are hustling, running around, doing everything. But I talked about that. You have to clear your brand. And so I'm going to continue with this conversation until I get to the point where say, okay, let's create my LinkedIn post for Tuesday. I want it to sound like me. You're an expert copywriter. I'll put it in a persona. I want you to start with a compelling question or a hook that sounds like me. Start with I. I want you to give three educational teaching points. And then, as my call to action, let them know they can grab my free client clarity to client playbook and put the link. And so now that is my first post for LinkedIn. And then I'm going to go to LinkedIn, okay? And I'm not just going to post. Let me pull up LinkedIn. I'm going to connect with a few people. I'm going to comment, okay? I'm going to share my screen here. So I'm going to pull up, this is my system. I'm at the planning day, okay? So I'm going to go here, and I don't have time to show you everything, but I want to show you a little. Hopefully you can get an idea for your own system. And I'm going to pull up LinkedIn. Okay, there's my LinkedIn page. All right. And I do a training on LinkedIn of how. So now I'm not just going to post. I like to connect with some of my people. I like to message people. I like to make comments on other people's pages. I'm not just going to show up and post. And then here's my post. Here's one of my posts. I think my assistant put this one up today because I've been very busy. Okay. And so here is after years of being in business and teaching, I've learned this. You see how I'm sharing something from me like I taught you? And then that's my hook and my opener. And then I gave three teaching points: clarify your brand, simplify your marketing, monetize what you know. And I gave three teaching points. And then here's my call to action: grab the Success Trifecta Kit free, and there's the link. And then after that, I'm going to spend 10 to 15 minutes some days, and I'm going to message. I'm going to go to some of my other people's pages. I'm going to comment. That is my system. And then sometimes I will go and create a newsletter, because that's, you could do that with your free LinkedIn. And so I'm going to create a newsletter. It might be once a week. I'm going to send a newsletter out. Everything revolves around the Success Trifecta. I'm going to send a newsletter out, and everybody is going to see. What am I doing? I am building a brand in 20 minutes, 3 days a week. And it's not posting, it's building a brand. And so now I made the YouTube video on the weekend. I might make two videos because I like to batch. I don't just make one video, okay? Because I like to batch and save time. And I'm going to show you my screen here in a minute. So now I can go back and continue my conversation with AI for my video about what to put in the description. What should the title be? Give me some SEO. And so now I have maybe a 20-minute video that I upload. Let me show you this. That's just once a week. YouTube is once a week. Okay, and I hope you go follow me. I finally got serious about YouTube. I was off and on for like 2 years. And I realized the importance of YouTube now. Now people will sponsor you because you don't even need a big channel. They'll ask you to just mention them. And so I finally got serious about YouTube after off and on, back and forth for 2 years, off and on, back, and now it's non-negotiable. I'm always going to put a video up once a week or once every 2 weeks. And so now here I may go to my YouTube channel and put my thumbnail up, my content, same content that I got from chat, and I'm done. And I remember having 2 subscribers or no subscribers or two video views or no views or 3 views. And when you get serious about something, your brand picks up. And this doesn't even take long. So that pretty much is my system. I have a planning day each week. I have 3 particular days that I'm going to post to 2 main sites, do an email once a week. Bam. Wow. That's it. That's it. And so let me go back here. I'm going to show you email in a few minutes. I'm back to my presentation. All right. So that's where I was with the demonstration. This doesn't take long if you want to build your business. Okay. So that was the activity. So you want to brainstorm, and this is in your workbook too. I hope you print it out and I hope you spend time in your workbook. You want to brainstorm with your own content pillars. And this is the system. You can take a screenshot. I have a planning day, non negotiable. I'm not going to let life win. This happened. I couldn't go. This happened. I'm not. It's non-negotiable. Pick 1 to 2 sites, post two to if 3 times a week is too much, do two. Add one email, connect and build relationships with 10 to 15 people. You are going to build your brand. November, December, January come, you're going to see your business even take off more. But you have to have a system. So recap. Simplify your message. Okay? It's simple. Your message is your marketing. It's simple. You don't have to be on every site. You don't have to be online every day. Use my 3-2-1 method, 3 posts a day, 2 platform, 1 email. It's in the workbook. And if you want to get on a session with me at the end, you can email me or whatever. I'll go through the whole thing with you. Keep content clear and easy to understand. Use storytelling content to speak to your clients' desires. You might be saying, Marsha, I'm doing all of that and nothing's working. If you're doing all of that and nothing's working and you're not getting clients consistently, your system is broken somewhere. And we need to talk about that. You should not be doing everything and nothing's working. And I have a checklist for you too. All right, let me check the chat real fast because I got to hurry up. Okay. If you're like Marsha, I'm doing all of that, nothing's working. Somewhere your system is broken. Okay, I don't see anything new in the chat. So let me go back here. All right. Part three, last part of the success trifecta. So you're saying, Marsha, okay, if I build my brand and it's clear to people and they know what I do and they know how I can help them and I have a promise. You can't promise people they're going to make $10,000 a month. You can't promise people they're going to get a client. But for me, your promise can be if you use your products or services and they spend time with you, this is going to happen if they do what they're supposed to do. You can give the guarantee those results. If you use this system and you're consistent, I know you will grow your business. I started from scratch. Zero. No followers, nothing, no online, no email, subscribe, nothing, zero. So I know this works. So how do you monetize and turn leads into clients? It doesn't have social media doesn't have to be overwhelming. Pick 1 site or 2 sites, but it doesn't have to be overwhelming. But it's a great tool for growing your business. If you are just to be posting, you will not make money. So if you're like, I'm doing everything, your system's broken, I'm posting and you just posting without intention, then you're probably not getting clients. Because posting without intention means you're saying what you need to say, you're connecting with people, you're making good comments, and you're offering a call to action. Download my such and such, driving people from social media to email. You got to get them from scrolling. You got to get them off of this phone scrolling. You got to get them in your email list. Okay. And so posting is not a strategy. Take a picture. However, social media is a great tool for visibility. Okay. A strategy is intentional. What do you want people to do when they discover you? You have to lead them to the next step, either a lead magnet or a call or grab your playbook or watch your YouTube video or go read your Substack newsletter. I have a Substack newsletter that's free. You got to lead them somewhere. You can't just post and leave the post. You need to send them somewhere next. And it's usually not to buy something from you next. Unless you might be having a special. So it is usually to download your freebie or get a workbook you have, or it might be to go watch a video or something. But you got to have them do something next. Is this you? Marsha, I'm doing everything and nothing's happening. I don't know where to start to get clients. I start and stop and get stuck. I used to do that with YouTube. I don't know where to start. I am inconsistent with my marketing. If that is you, it is going to be very hard to grow your business in 2026. And it's a mindset change time. Don't, it's a mindset change. You need to say today is the day that I'm going to get serious with a system. Today is the day, not next week, Monday. Oh, it's the weekend. Today is the day. Turning leads into clients, it's all about connections, giving value, and having them trust you. People buy when they say, you get me. Oh my goodness. They feel seen. They feel heard. If you're not commenting and messaging, how do they feel seen or heard? If you're not commenting on Facebook or messaging them or replying or DM direct messaging them, how do they feel seen? How do they know you hear them or see them? Sales is simply serving with a solution. You're not a car sales. You're not running after people. Sales is a serving a solution. Here's a solution to get to where you've been for all year to a new place. So, how do you create a lead magnet? You choose a problem or a challenge that your ideal client is having, and you give them one quick win. Okay. And so, a lead magnet, and that's a whole nother training, can be a checklist, a guide, a workbook, a ebook, a toolkit. I like Hello Audio, audio lesson, a short video could be a lead magnet. It shouldn't take you but 1 to 2 days to create a lead magnet. Okay. And I'm going to show you some tools in a few minutes. The lead magnet is the first step in getting the client. You have to get them off of social media. Your lead magnet is that. It's a magnet for a lead. A like and a follower is they're not a lead. They don't become a lead until they give you their name and email. If they are liked and followers, they're not a lead. A like and a follower doesn't become a lead until they give you their name and email. And you get it with the checklist or a guide or a workbook or ebook, something that you created of free and give them a value. I like audio lessons. You can make 3 short audio lessons in Zoom, 8-minute lessons in Zoom, upload them to PayHip. They give you their email, and bam, now they become a lead. Okay. And so I'm going to give you a demonstration in a few minutes of the checklist, the guide, the workbook, and all of that. So take a picture of this client sales funnel. Social, this really take a picture of this. If you've left me, come back. Take a picture. This is important. Social media, they find you. 1 to 2 sites. Content from your content pillar, they become interested. Lead magnet, they download your lead magnet. Email, you email them once a week. Call, they get on a 20-minute call. You're not pressuring us. I have a 20-minute call. It's a free call to see where you are. You're not pressuring them. Conversation is like, I think this person can help me. They become a client. That's the funnel. Social media is not the funnel. That's the top of the funnel. Then the content that you put up from your content pillar. Then your lead magnet. Then your email once a week. Get on a call, conversation, they become a client. That's the funnel. Okay. So you have to ask yourself, what part of the funnel am I missing or skipping? It's in the workbook. It's a checklist. If you're doing everything and you're not getting consistent client, something is missing in your funnel. Okay. Reflection time. Where are you leaving your clients on the journey? You got to make sure you're taking them through the funnel. And this is my system. Okay. Lead magnets, content, get people on your newsletter, and ChatGPT can help you. And this is how you close a client. You focus on their pain points. You can take a screenshot. You focus on their challenges. You focus on what's been keeping them stuck. You focus on getting results, filling the gap. Do not be jargony and businessy in your content. Okay. Do not be jargony. And then you offer them a 20-minute call. You're not pressuring them. You're offering them a solution. You're offering them one quick win, one solution. And so as we recap, and I'm going to spend the last few minutes showing you a few tools if you have questions. Turn leads into clients. When someone gives you their name and email, they are not a lead until they give you their name and email. Other than that, likes and followers scrolling on the phone. They are not a lead. Okay. Post content that speaks to your clients' pain points. Nurture them in an email once a week. Show up 3 times on social media. So let's go into the tools. All right. And I told you if you stayed to the end, these are the tools I'm getting ready to show you. I'm going to try to show you in a few minutes that I use. You could take a screenshot. Hostinger is your hub. You could have your web there. It's really affordable. Payhip, kit.com, constant contact for email, Zoom, Canva, Podia. You don't need all of these, but you need a few tools. Okay, you need a few tools, and you have the power to reach your goals. Okay, you don't need a big audience to be successful. You just need the right message, the right people, and the right system. You do not need a big audience to make money every month. Okay, take a picture of this because I'm getting ready to show you some tools real fast. The 7-day strategy session, I'm offering it if you're here on this platform for the SBDC. It's $97 through November the 19th. I'm only going to do 5 slots. It's regular $297. Of course, you can email me. I'll also put my phone number in the chat in a minute. Now, let me show you these tools, okay? All right, let me try to show these. Okay, write this down. Here we go. Payhip. All right, Payhip. Okay, and I'm gonna hit it. Payhip is free, and it is for your digital if you want to sell digital products. Okay, and here's some of my tools on Payhip. People can buy, put their credit card. They can offer free. You can offer your audio stuff there. Payhip, you can look it up. Payhip is free. And it's a great place to put your audio, put your courses, put your digital products, put your book, and you can have free items there and paid items on Payhip. Okay. And so if you're thinking, well, how do I do that? Of course, I can help you set up your systems. I can do your systems for you. I can train you how to do your systems, but write this down and look it up. Payhip is for your digital products, okay? Now, let me show you another tool that I teach and I like to show people with. So that's Payhip. Now, let's go to a second tool, and that's Podia, all right? So this is Podia. You can house your courses on Podia, or you can house your courses on Payhip. Podia is $29 a month. What I like about Podia is you can do everything here. You can sell your products, you can sell your courses, you can sell your coaching, you can do everything. And the reason I show Payhip is it's free. And the reason I show Podia, if you're in a place where you can pay $29 a month, it opens the door for so many other things. And as you can see here, I have products, I have courses, I have everything on Payhip, on Podia. Okay, so you can look up Podia. These are tools you need tools, okay? And this is for everything, coaching, everything. All right. So that's Podia. That's another tool. Either I teach it or I use Podia or I like it. Now I'm going to show you those are for courses and those are for digital products. And I showed you Chat GPT. So now I'm going to show you kit.com. This is where you're going to put your lead magnets that we talked about, okay? On kit.com. Kit.com is free. Okay, you can put your lead magnets that we talked about, your workbook, or maybe you have a guide, or maybe here's one of my client clarity to client playbook workbook. So you can upload your digital lead magnet for free on Kit. They give you their name and address, and Kit gets their email for you. Okay, so you can use Kit for emails and for your lead magnet, and it is free. So here's an email I sent out today on Kit about this training, right? And so I sent it to 99 people. 99 people downloaded the lead magnet, and now they're in your Kit platform. You have to get people onto your email, okay? And some of you probably came because you saw it in the email. So Kit is good for your lead magnets and your email. And the good thing is it is free. So let me go to Constant Contact. Now, this is the one I use. I teach with Kit, but I actually use Constant Contact. Okay. And why? Because Constant Contact will tell me who opened my email, how many people opened it. I sent this out today, 459 sends, 110 people opened it. And so it keeps up with all of my emails. It tells me who opened them. It tells me when they opened them. It can keep up with my lead magnet. Is $12 a month. So you might say, well, which one to use, Kit or Constant Contact? You use the one that works best for you. Okay. That's what you use. You use the one that works best for you. And the one that you feel you can work best with. Now, the good thing about Constant Contact, you have a live person you can call. With Kit, you have to email, okay? And so Constant Contact is $12 a month. And so this is a great tool for lead magnets and for your email. And so you might be saying, okay, Marsha, if I have my lead magnets and I have my email, then what else do I need? Okay. In other words, you don't need much more. You don't need much more. Okay. You just need this system and the pick. Let me go back here as I wrap up. Okay. I got 7 minutes. Oh, I'm doing a good job. I can ask you need to look at these tools. Okay. These tools and ask yourself, what tools do I need? Let me tell you the bare minimum tools for November, December to get started. Hostinger will host your web page. It might be $100 for 2 years, okay? Or $50 for 1 year. It will host your. You don't even need a full website, but you do need a page hosting, and I'm bringing it up. PayHip, you can sell your digital product. You can make one product. I'm going to talk about that next week too. I'm going to send you an email if you want to come to the free webinar, how to make one low ticket product and make money over Black Friday. So PayHip is for that. Kit is for your lead magnets and email, and it's free. Constant Contact is for your lead magnet and emails, $12. It's just a little bit more advanced. Zoom, of course, is for your calls and meetings. Canva is for your content. Podia is where you can host courses. Let me bring up Canva. I use Canva every single day almost, because you can get ideas from Canva. We're on Canva. Okay. You can get ideas from Canva. You can put in the Canva and ask Canva for reels, or ask Canva for carousel, or ask it for motivational sayings, or ask it for things to put on your social media. So you do need tools. Okay. You do need a system for tools. So as we wrap up, and I'm going to see if I have some questions. Um, you had the power to reach your goals. You have two options. Of course, I couldn't do everything in 2 hours, but I hope you got some good things. You can either walk away and have all of this wonderful information in the workbook and try to do nothing, or try to spend months trying to figure out stuff, or you can get help with getting a system done. You don't need a big audience to be successful. You just need the right message, and you need the right people and the right system. Okay. And so, like I said, right now I'm giving for 7 days. If you want to get, you can email me, or I'll put my number in the chat. $97, and we can get a strategy for you as you get ready for 2026. And then I'm going to go over that workbook with you also. I also have a free 20-minute call if you don't want a strategy session. Okay. You might say, Marsha, I just want to talk about maybe where I am or what I'm doing, or I'm tired, or I've been waiting. But then get on a call with me, okay? I do not pressure you to become a client. I will help you if you want, but you can get on a 20-minute call with me, or drop me an email and say, Marsha, I just really need a little help with where I am and where I'm going. And that's where you can reach out to me there. All right, so I will put the workbook again and my number. See if you have in the chat, and I'm going to let Megan come back and wrap us up. And I want to thank the SBDC, the Paris SBDC, so much for having me. I hope, and I know they're going to have so many great trainers next year. So be sure and keep up with them. And I want to thank you guys for coming. I hope you walked away with one or two good ideas to get started over the weekend. And if you need to get on a call with me, you can text me right there. My number is in there, the workbook is in there. And as I wrap up, I want to say, the secret sauce to your success is not doing all of the stuff and hustling and running around with every trend. That is not the secret sauce to business success. The secret sauce to business success is you and just a few simple actions, a few simple decisions, one day at a time. And I promise you, you are going to find success. November, December, January, you're going to see a big transformation in just 30 days.